Hello everyone, this is Greyshot 117 bringing you another Commentaries 2, the Western Front Armies online commentary. Again, a mouthful, but still we're doing it. I believe this is number 4? Anyway, it's a 3v3 on Rzhev, not with Rzhev Winter, just normal Rzhev. With me is also Ryan and Tank Killer, both friends, both awesome players. Ryan's better on offense, Tank Killer's great for defense and strategic strikes. Now, of course, we're all three, both Ryan and I are the Oberkommando West, so again, I'll be doing something new. Tank Killer is the Vermach. I know I say Rhymrek, sorry. Then, of course, as the American player, we have Nazi SS Army, very good player on their side. Then we have Jim Mosheus and Chinese guy or Japanese guy. We'll go Oriental. No, what's the correct term? Anyway, the Oriental player, I think, is what I'll call him, because I don't want to misjudge or miscommunicate, but again, I don't want to be rude. But I have to call him something. I'm sorry, or she. I don't know. It could be she for either of them. But anyway, as you can see here, if we go back to me, I instantly, of course, I have my Stern Pioneers going here. I have my Volksgrenadiers going here. Luckily, Ryan is bringing over his Kerbal wagons for defenses in these areas. Tank Killer has his normal, again, he's the Weimrach, or the Wehrmacht, sorry, and he has Assault Grenadiers. So if we look here, he went Mechanized Assault Doctrine, so he will have the Tiger. I have the Luftwaffe Ground Forces. Again, I like this because they put up the AA. They bring in planes, shot down. Also, the Airborne Assault allows for like troops to go in specific areas. The same thing with Fallschirmjägers. And the MG-34 is always a great unit to have. Ryan will go through the Breakthrough Doctrine later. We go over to the enemy team. Nazi SS picked nothing. The Arbor Company is what he picked, and Shock Rifle. So this guy is okay. The IS-2 will be making an appearance, and it will be versing some heavy armor on the German side, so get ready for that. But anyway, as we can see here, they are setting up some actually basic defenses on their side. I don't know why they're setting up these tank traps. My guess was they wanted to put some heavy cover, which is actually really interesting. But I honestly have no idea. Again, that's my best guess, is defensive line over here. Anyway, I'm over here, so far nothing. We go over here, tank hasn't really had anything, but over here, as we can see, Ryan is currently under siege by assault engineers, by the Americans. Now, these guys are like Stern Pioneers, a little bit weaker, but pretty much they're great. But again, these guys are in a building, which gives them a little bonus against them, so it's an even fight right now. This Kerbal wagon is running away, so that's not really helping. So, yeah, pretty even fight. But as we can see here, again, we have pretty much our entire area under wraps. They have their area under wraps too. Actually, I have no idea what Red's doing. Again, like I said, Nazi SS was a really, really good player, but I think this was like for a defensive line or a trap in case we came around, and I think he's going to mine this area up, maybe. Let's see, but as you can see here, the American and Soviet player are pushing him pretty well. They have an MG pretty much stationed up and assault engineers to counter. Ryan should really have moved this guy, move this AT back, because it's not really doing much. The Kerbal wagon's doing great, but If we look up north, this is where actually a huge battle is taking place. We can see my infantry. Again, I brought my own Kerbal wagon along with some Stern Pioneers to hold. They have a double MG though, and again, the American MG is... Wait, is that the American MG? No, that's the Russian MG. So the Russian guy just went all MGs. Yeah, he went 3 different MGs. So as you can see here, I'm trying to hold this. I'm keeping this guy pinned. I'm trying to have this guy fire long range, although as you can see, this Panzer Striker on wheels is not doing the best, so I'm going to have to fall back very shortly. But again, great sidelines. I'll be following him back. Luckily, Tank is sending in Assault Grenadiers, which again are a very good unit. Think of them as like shock troops or the Stern Pioneers, except I associate them with shock troops more because they're close range. But the double MG is pretty much stopping any advance. Luckily for them, this thing hides behind the heavy cover. They can't shoot anymore. This thing is so close to dying. It is on fire. Like, this guy should be getting off right now. I mean, his caboose has to be pretty hot right now. I'm just saying. Luckily, this guy's close enough where it's being killed by mechanized, and that's what I did. For the Oberkommando West, to upgrade, you have these big vehicles that you set down. I picked the mechanized one to heal this, and also so I can bring in this half-track. The Puma's great against light vehicles like the scout cars and half-tracks that the Soviets like to bring in, and the Stuka is always great for artillery, and yes, we will be seeing that later. Right now, Ryan unfortunately lost his entire front. They have this MG right here, and again, we're trying to decap here. I think that's what Tank's doing. We look over here, Tank's also have this nice little defensive line. I would have liked it better if you put some mines here, but I'll try to do that a little later. Actually, no, I won't, because you know why? This is why. For some reason, I didn't even notice this. These guys are all making out, and they will not move. I tried evac, I tried everything. These guys are just stuck. Look, I hit a command, they won't move. So they are stuck under there. I don't know if that thing caused them to get wedged under here. But note, this is a glitch, and it's kind of stupid that these guys are making out under here, and I can't order them to do anything. Anyway, we go back here. Tank is doing a great job. Again, he's blue, pushing back the Nazi killer. Wow, nice, good shot. Again, that's the ambulance, can heal allied troops both with medic supplies to increase their health, and also with manpower. It's a great vehicle to use to push the front line, especially with a major. Now, as you can see here, with Tank and Ryan's combined forces, they're able to push the enemy back. No mines over here, huh? Weird. Except a nice little. They're setting up fuel points and whatnot. Again, more of these AT lines. I think they're just trying to make sure it's like we don't just charge in. Right now, again, they have this AT firing long range. They push me back pretty far. The AT's main goal is to try to take this out. I was kind of worried at this point because I brought my half track because it's great against infantry to move up and try to push them back. Unfortunately for them, they have these guys inside this building. My half track's still going to own them. And I'm going to retreat this guy very shortly. But yeah, right now I only have one infantry unit actually working and doing stuff. Because as said, these guys aren't doing a damn thing. And they won't ever do a damn thing because they can't do anything. My half-track is doing great damage against this MG, and as being a more heavily armored vehicle, it's really vulnerable to normal fire. And I'll show you guys later something I felt was really funny. But note, that also means it's flame retarded. So, again, I'll show that a little later. As we can see here, they have shock troops trying to move around. This MG somehow missed them. So, yeah. Ryan retook his area over here. They set up this nice little defensive line. Again, he's setting up a lot of tank traps. I think he's, again, either his cover or his just movement. Because, as we can see over here, pretty much they set him in line. So my guess is that way a tank comes across, he has mobile areas to like move around. Anyway, with all the support and troops in my half track, we're able to push the enemy back. They have this AT gun right over here. But luckily, Ryan's forces plus tanks plus my own moving in are going to be enough that this poor AT is going to lose most of its guys. Again, I try to get the best shots of the battles. I do have this MG right here, but my half-track will be more than capable of taking it out, along with taking this thing out. Now they have some conscripts, but again, my AA gun is just going to keep them back. They do have this mortar over here, but can't really do, well, actually it did a nice shot on Ryan, but it can't really do too much damage against my forces. His shock troops will be able to kill the MG, so I'm moving some troops. And also he brought in full Grenadiers. Wait, no, Ryan, sorry. Wait, Ryan brought in full Grenadiers? Oh, no, I do apologize. Ryan went Luftwaffe ground forces. That is my bad. I thought he went breakthrough doctrine because I thought I saw a Yag Tiger. It turns out that was a King Tiger. Yes, the King Tiger will making an appearance in this game. We stole their AT, which is awesome. Again, if you can steal stuff, do it. Also, they left some of their stuff here, so we're gonna be melting the. Again, these guys can melt down. They're very fuel strapped. They can't make fuel points of their own. So what they, again, this symbolizes German in like I want to say, summer of '44 on. They were kind of fuel strapped because the USSR pushed it and took out Romania, and Romania, I believe, was their last source of major fuel. So with that, in late '44, they're the Germans were very strapped, and actually so much that they abandoned vehicles during the Battle of the Bulge, like King Tigers, other stuff, because literally they ran out of gas. And some of the Allied commanders intentionally destroyed fuel points around, I guess, their front lines. That way the Germans, when they pushed, because again, they're overwhelming numbers, during the beginning of the middle attack on Battle of the Bulge, again, eventually Patton crushed it, but still, when they were advancing, that way they wouldn't get fuel, ergo, the Germans would have to abandon their vehicles and hightail it out. But anyway, as you can see here, they're setting up this nice little defensive line with many bazookas and upgraded arms. Again, this is something that a lot of players fail to realize. You can upgrade your troops to have a lot of good weapons. These riflemen are equipped with bazookas and bars, and they're going to just crush and advance. Unfortunately for them, again, you can put a AT gun in here. It's just, it was mine originally, but I lost it, so Tank grabbed it, but it's that Panzer Strike on wheels, I'm calling it. Again, it's the Rakenwerfer AT rocket launcher, but truly I see it as the Panzer Strike on wheels. But they're going to do this massive assault. I'm going to bring in a, but here's the thing, I'm bringing in a Stuka, and eventually I'll be bringing in a Puma. Again, all around, it's a good class, and also I'm bringing in my vehicle here to set it down here. That way I can get a nice fuel point up close. Unfortunately for me, they had so many bazookas, I wasn't expecting that. Again, I was expecting maybe one or two and then suppressed. Nope, they had so many, it just blew up in about 5 seconds flat. Now they put down smoke. This is very smart because they're getting really close, and now they're just advancing. And also that AT is probably going to die, even though it's in a medic bunker, which I find really funny. Also, they have this nice little Stuart. At this point, the Stuart's a great, nice little light tank. But if we get a nice view, my Stuka, I got my Stuka in, and they're going to. Oh my! That was pretty epic. That guy was running away from bombs, couldn't quite make it. But anyway, because of that, I took out quite a few of their guys. They have a couple left, but luckily, Tank has a Stug, the nice Stug that has great front armor. It can easily take out this nice little Stuart, but again, the bazooka is something that he really has to watch out for. As seen here, the bazooka just like deflected off the front armor. We go over here. Ryan did this nice little advance along with myself. I put Fallschirmjägers over here so I can take this point. So they were planning on charging. We saw them like moving in, so we did this so as a little attack from behind. Anyway, as we see here, they're moving in some troops over here. Luckily, my Volksgrenadiers are taking them out, and are advancing and getting back to the main front. There goes their Stuart. Again, it's a light tank, can't really take that much. All right, evac, come on, hit it, hit it. I know I hit it very soon. There we go. But anyway, as you can see here, most of their advance is pretty much, it worked, but they didn't really press any further than where that Stug's located. And over here, we actually did some good. Again, this thing is not the best against like vehicles. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's a Panzerfaust, but don't expect it to take out this thing. And I kind of forgot to retreat it, so there you go. But yeah, I should have probably retreated it. My bad. In any case, oh, there's a little pathway they broke through. In any case, they have bunkers, MGs, whatnot. Nice placements, by the way, with the I'm sorry, the I guess the defenses. Again, they know they have to set this defensive line. But here's the thing: in this game, especially Rzhev, I know Rzhev winner at slightly different locations. In this game, you have to take you have to take these points. So I don't know what they're trying to do. Oh, sorry. I had an idea I was going to be in that location. Again, it's great for just shocking on. They're like, okay, let's retreat a little bit. But it doesn't have the best range like a Katushka. It has some decent, it has a good range, but not a great range like an artillery piece or something. But anyway, they're remanning their guys, so it's a short-lived victory. And yeah, here's the thing, we're still winning on points because they failed to capture these areas. Unfortunately for Tank, he moved up his from again, he gets his mechanized ability, which allows him the there we go, the Panzer Grenadiers on the half track. Problem is, the enemies have cheap mines, so they've mined that area up, and it did quite a bit of damage to that poor half track, which now has no one in it. So yeah, that's a negative. Also a negative, the entire Soviet and American force coming to counter. So, oh, and by the way, these guys have the bar. I believe that's what it is, the bar. Yeah. Which is a great weapon in upon itself because it has this long range capability. Again, wait, is that bar? Yeah, it's a bar. They also, because we were capturing it, did a fire grenade. And yeah, they're forgetting they recapture this. I think their guy over here may not be the brightest. But yeah, if you have a fuel point, recap it. If you have a point in your territory, I know I said this like in an early video, make sure you recap it, because I think they're like, oh, someone said, oh yeah, I got it, and then no one sent a unit. In any case, my Stuka is still available. This guy's still stuck on my base. I have these guys coming in, reinforcing the front, and yeah, we're not doing half bad. They're kind of testing our limits right now, and again, we're kind of just like trying to hold down these sectors, and they kind of push back, so yeah, that's kind of negative for us. So we're moving up some forces. Again, we have enough infantry units that they can't really move forward. Oh, that was a nice bazooka shot. And pretty much we're just, the main goal is using tactics to reinforce the front line. Again, if IS-2 got injured, this thing is great for healing infantry, and this is great for healing units. And again, I use this retreat point. It costs 300 manpower, but it is worth it because I can retreat forces to that sector. I also brought in this thing. Again, part of the medic headquarters, you get this infantry support gun. Well, I'll move up so you can see the blast. You can get the infrared searchlight, which allows us to see the enemy. That, again, shock and awe. It doesn't necessarily do a lot of damage, but it definitely does quite a bit, so it takes time for them to re-heal their units. As you can see here, they also have a lot of AT forces and bazookas, so we can't really send a large armor force against them because they're preparing for it, and they have a Jackson. Again, you only need one of these two to get the third. I did both because they're both good on their own. And I don't really need, let's say, a light tank or long-range infantry. I'm pretty much good overall. But I did bring up the searchlight because if we get off Fog of War, you can see how when it goes through, you can see it detecting units. The Americans, Soviets, whatever, the units being detected actually know they're being detected, so they know there's a searchlight range, but it allows us to see all these troops moving in, which is really cool. So far, this guy has 12 kills, not too shabby. But now we can see all their infantry movement, so that's really, really nice. I also deployed these guys behind enemy lines thinking I could do something. No, this MG stops him, so I instantly have to retreat. Also, I think this guy did the volley ability, which, again, keeps guys pinned. You have a lot of infantry. Luckily, we have an MG here, but it's one guy. And, yeah, so far, not doing the best. But as you can see here, they are reinforcing. They have this KV flamethrower, which is actually really good, because as you can see here, a majority of our force is infantry, except for, you know, tank here we got Panzer IV to reinforce, and he also has a Stug, but they're going to get some stuff to counter that a little later, like an AT gun with extended range. Again, the normal American AT is great versus German armor, especially if you could have this ability, again, as a star. It can do it elongated, so it can see very far. It can actually hit units farther, but again, the width of the firing range is shortened. And there goes the Stug. I tried to move up the AT thing, I have to retreat that. Bombs go off. Again, kind of did major damage to their forces. Again, delayed them. This is what I was talking about. So this guy's using a flamethrower on this searchlight. It's not doing anything. This guy's cooking inside, but he's alright. And now I'm retreat. I move him back a little bit. I should have probably moved him back a little bit more, because I think now the AT gun's going to try to kill it. But the flamethrower, again, it does a lot of damage over time, but yeah, it takes the AT gun to finally put out of its misery. I have Volksgrenadiers and Volksgrenadiers moving in. doing a combined tactic, and that way I can take out this unit. And this AT, rendering their AT capabilities lower, and allows the Panzer IV to have a slightly better advantage, although I think the Panzer IV died. Yep, it did, which is bad for us. Luckily, I retreated my Stug, so it would be okay, but now this flamethrower tank is just gonna have a, you know, it's just gonna go nuts. I'm not gonna go for this because that's a bad choice. A mobile position against a flamethrower is something you don't want to have. I'm just gonna keep using the Panzerschreck and retreat him. I'm also gonna use his Panzerfaust ability, which knockdowns engine. And I'll retreat the guys, which will go over here. Still there, just in case you were wondering. He's here. These guys I move in, try to do some nice AT fire. Again, it does some good hits on him. I think I'm about to retreat him, or he dies from fire. Yep, he died from fire. They moved up this thing over here. Luckily, my Fulch Grenadiers will start taking him out. But they call this artillery barrage, so at this point I'm like, alright, this guy's not moving. I need to get another Stern Pioneer. In any case, they're pushing in with a large infantry blob, and I think I finally got that point. Is that only 5? How many is this? I'm sorry, that. 2. Interesting. Anyway, they're moving in with quite a bit of infantry blob, but again, you can put this rocket launcher in buildings. Just heads up, it's really good if you do that. And also this MG and everything are pretty much just keeping them back. Also, Ryan did his own defensive line, as seen here. Again, this is like the immobile armies fighting, because again, we're just hidden behind defensive lines. But hell. That actually worked very well because, sorry for my language, but it actually worked very well because it took out Jackson. Also, IS-2. And I sent a Puma after it. My Puma took out the mortar, but then I'm like, smoke, run. Yeah, so now they have an IS-2 in our battlefield, and we really don't have the best AT to take care of it. Luckily, they kind of retreat because they think, oh, don't really want to go by itself, or they're moving around. I don't know what they're doing, but yeah. So this thing is currently firing. My Stuka's over here, which can actually now fire again, which is pretty funny. I have these guys over here retaking this point, and also actually getting rid of a lot of these like random MGs and stuff like that, because I don't need them. Tank doesn't want them. But in any case, you're probably more interested in this IS-2. In any case, actually, let me double check something. So for the Americans, they actually have 32 fuel. We have 26, and they have 19. So again, that's probably because they have the fuel caps, and tank really never got around to doing that. That's probably would have been helpful if he would have done that. But if you go to resources, we have, wow, they have also more munitions, so they have more of everything. So my guy, of course, got healed because I took him to that medical bunker, and also so I'm trying to have him reverse those two things. I fired those cannons at the infantry blob moving in, which kind of is gonna have to force him to retreat now. Go back over here. He has a couple AT forces and whatnot firing upon his forces. I have my Puma coming in from the side to hit the Jackson. And my Puma takes out a Jackson. He actually killed 2 vehicles. But my Puma is now moving in, trying to counter. And I'm like, you know what, I don't want to risk it. I got a star off it. Let's retreat. And so does his IS-2. But as you can see here, they're also preparing for a large attack. Who is this? I'm sorry, I forget his name. God dang, illegible names, people. Come on. JL. There we go, JL. JL is now moving in. I probably called him something else, but who knows? He's moving in this nice little assault to recap these forces. Very happy. Sorry, Ryan was very happy his thing didn't die, and I'll send over forces to heal that momentarily. But as you can see here, now he has a King Tiger to even the odds against that IS-2 and other forces. As you can see here, we've reinforced our front line, and I'm also healing my thing over here, along with this guy's healing my Puma, which actually, again, it versus an IS-2 and lived, people. I also set this thing down so I can get these guys, which I'll give you a heads up, not really going to be able to do. But we can see here they have this flamethrower tank, but this, yeah, the King Tiger pretty much just one-shotted it. And all these guys, again, this thing's front armor is incredibly strong. It's a few bazooka shots are just gonna bounce off it. Look, that bazooka shot straight on did nothing. I bring up my Puma to help out, which grabs me a free bazooka for my guys, which I'll then upgrade for 2 bazookas, even better. As you can see here, they still have their front line, but they're kind of down on infantry. Kind of need some help. But as you can see here, they still do have an IS-2 and the other flamethrower tank just in repair. So yeah, they'll be back. They're moving up a Sherman, the good old Sherman, which is good against pretty much a roundabout tank. The Jackson's more specialized against the Jackson's more specialized against heavier armored tanks, while the other mortar Sherman is good against like infantry and static positions. Anyway, as you can see here, I'm reinforcing my front line with multiple Volksgrenadiers with the AT, because again, they had a lot of tanks coming at us. I have my MGs also stationed, that way again, more defensive line. Ryan has his great King Tiger, but again, they do have a lot of AT, especially this American AT, which is actually pretty good against the King Tiger. Again, I had 2 of the American AT, which is technically called 57mm. It's if you use it correctly and use the the cow shot, like if you look, this thing gets a special ability where we'll go to Nazi for a second. Wow, okay, he has quite a few units. This thing, you can equip it with this armor piercing shot, the saber round, and it can go through this King Tiger's front hull. It truly can. But let's see how they're doing. We'll go to JL. He has quite a few forces. Sherman guarding the right along with his ambulance. Again, a lot of riflemen. And we go to the Oriental gentleman, and he has a lot of shock troops with long-range weapons. And again, I believe he can go over and purchase stuff from the American units. I believe. I'm not 100% sure. Don't quote me on that. He also has the IS-2 and KV. So he has the heavy armor. We go to tank, see what he's up to. He has a lot of AT. Actually, funny enough, both AT units are Soviet. Again, he's repurposing, which is pretty funny. He has a couple of assault grenadiers, some normal grenadier squads. Again, his main goal is holding this sector, along with myself. We go over here to Ryan. He has nothing except for that King Tiger, which just one-shotted that AT. Again, it has an incredibly powerful gun. Don't fight it. Fight it with many units at all angles, not a couple directly in front of it. That's a death wish. And we go to me. I still have my great Stuka, which is about to fire upon the enemy, which I thought was advancing. Yeah. Now we have some AT again. My searchlights allowing us to see their forces, and artillery is now able to hit them. So Ryan still has his King Tiger right there. Again, more defensive line. They do too, but as you can see, they're losing points. But in the essence, they also have equal resources to us. Oh wow, we're actually starting to get more. Okay, this is why. We actually put up some fuel points. That's why. So now we finally have some more fuel. Yeah, we have more fuel overall and everything, and munitions mostly. Well, okay, let me explain. Tank is equal. The our guys, because again we're kind of depraved on that front. We're kind of short. But again, that's the thing with the Oberkommando West. If they had equal fuel, it would definitely be OP, because of the simple fact we could easily get King Tigers. We look over here, JL is preparing for a massive assault. Their Nazi is also assaulting with quite a few guys. Again, bazookas and all sorts of units fighting the King Tiger. But again, the King Tiger is just owning them with its large, powerful gun. And now the artillery, which is just pushing them back. Again, they probably should heal that thing, because it's barely alive. Now he has a Tiger and a Panzer IV. So yeah, I also see this and I'm like, oh no, oh no. So I move up my Stuka and I'll prepare to fire at them as soon as I see that again. But as you can see here, they're prepping for a three-prong assault, hitting us all three at our three different locations, which would pretty much render us, yeah, it would pretty much be very bad for us. I move up Fallschirmjägers to try to take this guy out, but as you can see, I'm going to try to retreat them very shortly. I also put up this flak, and I was planning on actually setting up more flak around the local area, because I noticed they had a lot of Air Force units. Again, we go over to their side. Oh, maybe not. There's my bombs blowing up a good chunk of their advance. But as you can see here, my track, which is a 20mm, which is that gun, I think it's 20mm. I guess not. I'm not sure what it is, but it's not, you know, it's an AA gun nonetheless, and it's not that powerful. A Tiger and Panzer IV moving in along with his troops. I'm trying to move in my stuff as well to help counter. I'm moving in my Puma over here to help counter the Jackson, which again is doing quite a bit of damage. My Stuka's getting repaired, and we'll go back over to the large battle going on. Now again, they have AT flanking him, although bombs are going off right now. It's quite an interesting battle. It's just like, hey, what's going on? Yeah, we're just firing at you. And my guy is still, and this thing is still firing from behind, which is pretty funny. But the AT is just firing and taking out the Tiger and the Panzer. And also, guess what? Another IS-2 coming in. Luckily, his AT was able to take it out. I'm moving in troops to help out, along with my my Puma, because I'm like, oh, that thing is so close to dying. Then I notice this thing, and I'm like, oh no, fall back, fall back. I try to do it like a piercing shot. It did nothing, and then it gets taken out. So Puma had that piercing shot ability, not really worth it. Also, that thing is so close to dying, but this thing cannot kill it to save its life. And in the meantime, I was trying to bring out a Panther. That's not going to work out because it's going to die. So, yeah, go me. Luckily, this thing's AT is able to keep pushing back their IS-2. So, at least their heavy armor is being pushed back. Now, I do something really, really stupid. When this thing gets removed, I thought, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to be a dick move. And luckily my Stuka did some heavy damage. I'm going to be a dick move, put a Fallschirmjäger in this building, there it goes, and then do a Panzerfaust against them, because they're so close to dying, it will instantly work. One shot, it dies. Never get a chance to. I was so disappointed because I could have used it again for something else. Yeah, 440 fuel. I wonder. Actually, no, that's not even. I couldn't even. Could I have used that? No, because this thing died. But I could have used it for something better. But now they have two barely alive IS-2 slowly making their way off, along with AT and MG covering their withdrawal, and they finally retook this point. Their attack over here failed, and their attack over here failed, and they had to retreat, but they still did quite a bit of damage, and now he has a unstarred King Tiger for Ryan, so that's pretty cool. I think Ryan set up some forces up here to try to do some damage. Kinda didn't work out for him. Up here they took this point, so now we are losing. And we're just like, oh no. So right now I don't have that many units. Again, this guy's still stuck here. I'm just moving up some units. I think I have an AT coming in very shortly because I was worried. But in any case, I was hoping they use the airborne assault to like attack the IS-2s. I realized that it really won't do that much against armor. So what I did was I used it in this section. Again, I paratroop guys, and I'm going to try to cut them off and take this point. Lo and behold, Nazis moving up. I try to move in there, decap this point. I do, but yeah. Do lose that unit, which I was kind of disappointed. So for payback, I fire some more of these things. 31 kills so far. Again, knock out the AT. Very happy about that. Do some damage against the ambulance, and again, just help destroy their front line. Unfortunately for me, though, they have a ton of AT and are retaking all these points, including our fuel, which, again, if you're the Oberkommando West, fuel is kind of important, so you don't want that to happen. Anyway, luckily, again, they have all the supplies here, so I'll start taking it and decommissioning it. And also, luckily, our ally brought in a tank, brought in a Panzer IV, so, you know, that's pretty good for us. I also have guys over here, again, doing damage, and I'll be able to decap that point momentarily. Ryan's causing some havoc behind their base, and, you know, doing some stuff. Unfortunately, they are healing their tanks, so, yeah. Not going to do much, although if he can kill that ambulance, that would be amazing. I don't think I'll be able to, though. But as you can see here, again, the best thing to do on this map is to hold at these 3 key areas, and you'll probably have the best chance of victory. If you're on the enemy team, so again, if you're facing in this direction, the best thing for you to do is actually, most interestingly, hold this area, but then try to push for this section. And the reason I say that is, you can, if you cut, they only have 2 sections to cut off, here and here. And if you want to win, that's where you want to do. If you cut off this section and then cut off this section, again, I know it's like more fighting over here, it's just more work, but again, it's still worth it. And again, it's not, I'm sorry, let me rephrase. Yes, you can capture this point, but the thing is, though, about this map is there's so many weak points. We are very lucky we were able to hold that off. Again, this is the lucky, but that's what brought us our luck on that end. But again, they could easily push over here, hit one of our corners. So again, always try to exploit. I also did some more bombs and blew up with forces. Again, love the Stuka. Stuka's great. They try to use the flamethrower thing to destroy this, which is kind of distracting him because the Panzer IV is now shooting him. Also, the Panzerfaust from behind, excellent. Unfortunately for us, the IS-2 is making its return along with 2 AT guns. I kind of move up my Jagdpanzer up. Again, I moved my Jagdpanzer through this. Jagdpanzers have great front armor. They're not great against IS-2 though. So here's the thing, they definitely have less armor and can pierce the armored shell at the front. But I thought, at least it's doing something. Also, it doesn't help the ATs firing up on it, or at least I think it is. Yeah, it was. So maybe without it, I would have been fine. But hey. Also, that thing somehow survives once again. How many kills? 30 kills, not bad. I was tired of that thing, so I did my Stuka strike. Oh, did I do it over here? Oh, I did over here, try to killing their ambulance. I'll do it over here later. But as that thing is so close to dying, I was like, you gotta be kidding me. I'm like, you have I know this AT is barely alive, but just one shot would take it out. In any case, I try to recap this fuel point, and I'll be able to, and you know, more free weaponry. I'll also eventually try to put this thing down, as even if I can't get the vehicles until like I have to wait longer, that flak cannon still did quite a bit of damage and annoyed them quite a bit. As you can see here, Nazi's not giving up this place without a fight. He's setting up more defenses, and yeah, putting some bombs out to stop this halt our advance. There we go, I lost another unit. Another Stuka strike. Great. Again, I think the more this thing ranks up, as you can see here, the less recharge time it is. I could be wrong on that, but that's my opinion. Now he moves up his Panzer IV. I can't really do much in this area. Luckily, Ryan brings in Grenadiers to like come in and just do some damage. But yeah, the double AT just killed that Panther. And now we're just countering. So like, yay, we're doing really good. We're pushing them back. We killed their flamethrower tank, and now again with the Volksgrenadiers or these things, you can decommission. You can do salvage, and you can get fuel for it. So right now I'm getting fuel, so I can eventually get another Jagdpanzer. And also I can, where is this thing? Put this half track down so I can get some more supplies in this sector and also get some more heavier tanks. Ryan's King Tiger is still kicking butt. Look, 58 kills, 4 vehicles, not half bad. This thing is just owning the enemy. Again, never had a direct confrontation with an IS-2, but still, this thing was easily worth it.
We've lost a squad of infantry.
Oh, that's pretty epic. And their explosions over here, pretty much blowing up whatever they had left for a quote-unquote advance, and now we can move up and pretty much secure it. Although, here's the thing. They still have that IS-2, it got healed, and now it's coming in for a fight. Luckily my Yag Tiger isn't engaging it, my other Yag Tiger. Unfortunately for me, they have this flamethrower tank coming around, which is not exactly helping me. Again, if you're wondering how... Oh, there we go. There's his. Unfortunately, he's doing the old turn ability, and this thing is like an Su-85. This thing fired behind, really annoyed me. Shock my troops, they kill it. Now they're going to retreat. I have no major AT at this point, by the way. None. And this is a what? This is a support fire ability. So right now we have no major AT against them. Fantastic against a flamethrower tank. So at this point we're like, yes, it's like, we're going to win. It's going to be great. You know, even though they have this flamethrower tank over here, we're going to be fine. Ryan moved back his KV. Why? I don't know. And because of that, they are going to decap that on... Wait for it. We have 5 points. They have 4 points left and they decapped it. I'm like, you have got to be kidding me. And I'm like, okay, it's cool. It's cool. That's not bad. That's not bad. My goal is to bring up some more AT and Volks Grenadiers to help reinforce the front lines. Again, the reason why they killed me so easily with this thing is great front armor, terrible back. It's like an Su-85, just like a German version of it, as you can say. I have my Stuka firing more rockets at guess where. Really? It was over here? Oh yeah, they had MGs and stuff stationed. But yeah, there've been so many bombs over in this sector. Stug didn't do very well against that 45mm gun. Again, most people forget about that gun, but the 45mm is actually pretty decent. You just have to use it right. But they're moving in a ton of troops here, and they're retaking this sector. Ryan's retaking this sector, but that's not helping us because right now we lost this point, and we lost it pretty good. I'm moving up some AT. I have, again, my flank here just in case. He has his own Stuka firing. And kind of did okay. I still have my searchlight, which is giving us some area viewpoints. But again, they have another IS-2. And now that's a 3-star IS-2 going in to verse the 2-star Tiger. This is going to be an interesting match, ladies and gentlemen. Also, these flak emplacements, again, great shooting down aircraft and also fighting light vehicles. Just heads up. Flamethrower tank is just like, oh wow. I don't think that's supposed to happen, but that's pretty funny. Now, this is the moment you've all been waiting for. The IS-2 versing the King Tiger. Who will win? Well, we may never know because the IS-2 was a pussy and ran away. I'm sorry to say that, but they kind of did. I love the AT rockets firing long range. Luckily, Ryan did his awesome thing where he dropped troops in, and I got troops in from this local building that decapped this point. Called in more bombs to kill their front line attack. Again, this thing has 44 kills. Again, before this thing cuts me off, this thing has 60 kills, 4 vehicles. Pretty good. This thing's behind our base, and that's the game. Wait, can I? Oh, okay, I can't. Okay, at least I can click this. I hate that I can no longer move around and see the battlefield. Can I even move? I can't even move the turn it. Okay, so Ryan. Again, Ryan did pretty good. If we look at overall, he did 41,000 points. Again, mostly probably because of his Tiger that got 60 kills, and actually did a nice job engaging that 3-star IS-2. I don't know if it would have won or not, but hey, it was a nice, interesting fight. And he, again, that thing saved us on that line. And also he helped, again, doing this airborne assault, which again I highly recommend. If you are losing, do that behind enemy lines, cut off their supplies. Anyway, he did that to regain that star. I did mine to regain that star. That's where we were able to recap and win. If we look over here, me and Tank Killer got pretty much the same amount of kills, deaths, and even points. We're off by like 1,000 or 20 kills. Again, not that very insignificant. Tank Killer got slightly more points. I got slightly more kills and slightly fewer deaths. So overall, we did pretty good. We look on the enemy team though. The most amount of points, hands down, had to go to the Oriental player that brought in the IS-2s and the KV flamethrower. He did a ton of damage, got a ton of kills. Nazi got 22,000 points. Again, he did pretty good. He lost the most units though. Very sporadic. And JL was most likely a newer player of some kind. Again, Tank, still pretty good. But again, compared to like, I guess, those guys, I mean, Tank held his own really well. Again, all three of us did really well. JL was kind of their weak point. We never really saw a great attack with him, so that's why they probably lost the game. But those IS-2s, man, they definitely threw a wrench in, and those AT guns from the Nazi definitely destroyed a lot more tanks than those. I mean, the IS-2s were great front armor, but those AT guns, man, they blew up every Panzer IV, Tiger, you name it. But yeah, it was a great, again, they worked together and we worked together, and again, that's how we won. But in the end, they pretty much, I don't think, had anything left. Let's double check that. Oh wow, never mind, they had an IS-2 and two flamethrowers, so they actually still had a decent fighting force. JL, not too much. He had a major. We kind of blew everything else up he had. And Nazi had, yeah, he kind of was out of units too. Ton of fuel though. A lot of fuel. He should have probably brought in some Shermans or something. Just saying. Or even used some of this artillery tank down ability. Actually, let me look back at them. Yeah, he probably should have. Yeah, I mean, he only has 17 points. He probably should have brought in some tanks or something. Or even how about bring in that priest for a long-range artillery. Could have been interesting. Again, use your specials, people. Tank. Again, this shows how desperate we were. We barely had anything left on our side. Again, it's either you had a lot of units, like Ryan, or you had few. But in any case, he only had two. He only had 3 units altogether. I wasn't much better. I saw these units again. 44 kills, 4 vehicle kills, not too shabby. And again, one of those was that KV-8 flamethrower, I believe. But yeah. Not too bad. I think I wasted a lot of Volksgrenadiers. Again, remember to retreat your units. But overall, I thought this was a great game. It was a great defensive game. And yeah, definitely highlighted tactics you can use for just like overall defense and tactics involving the, I guess, either just the Oberkommando West or with their allies, the Wehrmacht. But anyway, hope you guys enjoyed. Oh, definitely also showed the Volksgrenadiers and how you can use them to mess up enemy supply lines. But anyway, thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and see you next time. So anyway, I have this MG here. I brought in my flag emplacement because I thought, hey, why not? It's actually a great counter. It was either that or I was going to pick these scout car. And if you're wondering, again, how I got that, the supply trucks at the Oberkommando... Oh, sorry. Again, this flak truck is not as OP as the beta, but still, once it's set down, it does a great job. It can easily hold back infantry very, very well, even against other later armored vehicles.